In this video, we're going to talk about locating and analyzing suspensions, how to find them in the music, and how to figure out the analysis. I've started you out that this is in the key of F, and this is a 5-chord, C, E, G, and I want you to first listen to it. And part of finding the suspensions will be determining the chord spelling, and with that, the Roman numerals. But I want you first to listen to this, and then we'll analyze it. Okay, we take a look at this chord right here, and you need to consider every vertical location of sound, that as well as the and of one. What's happening on there? All the pitches are A, C, G, C. That's one possibility, is that all one chord. Look right here and you'll see A, still sounding, C, F, C. Which is the clearer chord, this or that? I think you'll agree that FAC is. So it's this is a chord tone, this is a chord tone, and this is, and the G is not. That is a suspension. It's held over and resolves down by step. You look at the note before it and the note after it. Same note, resolved down by step, it's a suspension. So if it's FAC, the analysis would be 1 in first inversion. Then let's figure the kind of suspension. Remember, we're going to label it with S, but there's 4 different types of suspensions, and 3 of them are used for upper voices, and 1 is for a bass suspension. The 3 for the upper voices are all figured from the bass note up to the dissonant note, and from that same bass note up to its resolution, the interval. So what is A up to G? That is a 7th, and A up to F is a 6th. So we would label that a 7/6 suspension. We'll put it right here because it's close to the alto note since the suspension is in the alto. Okay, let's go on to this next one. We have B flat, D, G, and C. At the end, we have B flat, D. There is still, sorry about that, screen's jumping. B flat, D, B flat, D, G, and B flat. And all that together makes more sense as a chord. It's a G, B flat, D chord. And the C is once again the held over note resolving down, and it's a suspension. The chord root is G, G, B flat, D in first inversion, so that makes it a 2/6 chord. What kind of suspension? From the bass note to the dissonant note. From the bass note, B flat up to C, and then B flat to B flat. It ends with an octave. So it is a 9/8 suspension. Whoops. 9/8 suspension. There. It's the interval between the bass and the dissonant note, and the bass and the resolution. Sometimes it's easier to see the resolution would be 8, so it's a 9/8. Those numbers, remember, always go down. This doesn't have any non-chord tones. It's spelled FAC, C in the bass, therefore it is a 1/6/4 chord. This one, C, B flat, F, and G. We also need to look on the and, C, B flat, E, and G. There's a lot of notes there, so you have to stop and consider it. And I'll let you think about it. Which one is the consonant chord? Right there, C, B flat, F, G. If we have a second, and if they're both chord tones, G has to be the root. And it's not G, B flat, D, F. Let's look here. C, E, G, B flat. There it is. It's a 5/7. And in that 5/7, the alto voice has the suspension. The real chord is here, 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 and the G. The F has been pushed over and suspended over, and then there's the chord tone right there. The F temporarily takes the place of the third of the chord. And that is suspension in the alto. Bass note up to dissonant note, C up to F is what interval? C to F, and then C to G. I'm sorry, C to E. C to F, C to E. That's a fourth to a third. Makes it a 4-3 suspension. One more. F, B flat, C, and F. Looking over here, we still have the F. It holds for 4 beats, right? F, A, C, F. It's a 1 chord. And the note that's dissonant to it is the tenor note. Look at the rhythm of it. It's a half note. They can be most any value, but typically the chord, if it's whole note, will take half of that value for the suspension. These are quarter note chords, half of the value for the suspension. So it's really been rewritten. That A, if we take the suspension out, would be a whole note A, making the chord last the whole measure. But this has been pushed over, held over, and then resolves down. So that's the suspension. F up to B flat, and then F up to A makes it a 4-3 suspension in the tenor. There you have it. Let's listen once again, and we'll be done.